Greetings to all. My name is Pauline Gongang, and I talk about the mindset shift. I discuss topics that are relatable to everyone. I make it easier for everyone to relate, and we should be able to approach mindset or life from different perspective and from different mindset. Today's topic is the journey of prevalence. Why the journey of prevalence? When you think of journey, what comes to your mind? It's a process, it's time, it's growth, it's resilience. And when you talk about prevalence, it's about a widespread of something experienced related to a condition, an issue, or a behavior. So why should I join journey and prevalence? I decided to join the journey and the prevalence because it tells a story of your resilience, something you are aware of, something you do every day. You don't give up on yourself, but you do it every day and you're happy doing that. So today, the journey of prevalence, I want you to approach it from different narrative, different approaches. Last week, we spoke about the journey of the mind, which was the fixed mindset and the growth mindset. The fixed mindset is talking about a mind that doesn't want to grow, a mind that is satisfied being stagnant, a mind that complains about everything. Why a growth mindset is that mind that is happy being uncomfortable, is that mind that challenges itself, is that mind that accepts contribution, not competition, and is that mind that wants to evolve, that wants to create an impact, and creating an impact, the mind satisfied with what it has. When we talk about the journey of prevalence or the journey, look at it from this approach, the journey of time. When we talk about the journey in time, look at it from the perspective of the past, the present, and the future. When we come about the journey in time is about how do you approach time? Do you approach time from the narrative of it's always been there for you? Do you approach time with the idea that it's very fast, that it discriminates? Or do you approach time to the perspective that it gives you more awareness, it makes you happy, and you're happy being in that position and being in that time? So when we talk about the journey in time, what are you thinking about? Are you living, or rather are you actually just surviving? So the journey in time from the past events, when you talk about the past events, when you talk about what happened yesterday, does it influence you to be better, or does it make you feel bad, or does it challenge you to improve and not to repeat that mistake again? Or the past just want to keep you in the past, but while you're living in the present. So when talking about the journey in time, what is your past telling you about? What is your past trying to create? What is your past trying to build for you? Are you just focused only on your mistakes? Are you trying to blame the environment or the people around you concerning your past? What are you doing so far to improve on your past? What are you doing so far to make sure your past evolve, make sure your past motivates you, or your past makes you more disciplined in your future or in the present? So now we'll talk about the journey in time, which is the present. And then at the present moment, we'll speak about the past, now the present moment. How are you living in your present? How are you changing your mind in the present? What are you doing? What are you thinking so far? When it comes to your mind in the present, are you trying to be angry with the challenge you faced so far? Or rather, are you trying to build something for the future? I would say that most of us, especially as adults, we have a lot of expectations of ourselves. We tell ourselves by this certain age or by this time I will have achieved this thing in my life, or I have made a lot of impact in this environment. Because in that phase, you haven't experienced that, you haven't had that satisfaction, you start feeling bad. Instead of you taking the time to build yourself, excuse me please, take the present moment to build yourself for the future, rather you sit back and get angry or frustrated over your life, over the situations you face in life. So the journey in time is the journey in your present moment should be a moment whereby you are manifesting your future. You are living at the moment. You are present at the moment. You are giving at the moment. You are contented at the moment. So we're talking about a journey in the future. What about a journey in the future? What are you doing so far? Your future begins now. How you prepare for your present. I'll take a vivid example. It's about kindness. It's about giving. You don't see the result of your kindness immediately. You see it after, and when it's after, that's the future. When it comes to anger, you don't see the consequence of it. You see the consequence of your anger, but after all, that's the future. So what are you doing now for your present? Are you giving your best in your present moment for the future, or rather you are simply just getting frustrated and letting the future decide for its own? That's not possible. So the journey in time should be looked from the past, the present, and the future. The past, the present, and the future. Do you know there will be a conflict between those three periods in time, whereby you're in the future, you think about the past. You're in the present, you're thinking about the future. You're in the future, you're thinking about the present moment. When you think about the past, maybe because you are scared about something, you're scared about your future. And when you're in the present moment and you're not happy, you're thinking about the future, that means you're not really happy at the present moment. And when you're in the future, you start regretting what is not doing at the past. So all those conflicting moments, they have their seasons, they have their moments. So how do you try to make sure these elements or these factors coin together towards your journey? Thank you so much to Julius. Thank you so much to Privat, the journey nuns. Thank you so much for joining. And if you have questions, you have any inquiry, let us know. Let me know, and we'll discuss about it. Another topic, another journey in time is another journey in time we'll talk about is the journey of growth. The journey of growth. When we talk about the journey of growth, look at it from the perception, the reality, and the growth. When we talk about the perception, your expectations, what you see, what you expect, what you're experiencing, what you want to experience. When we talk about the reality, talk about what's happening right now, what you are seeing. When we talk about the growth, it talks about your mindset and your approach towards these elements, or approach towards these factors. Firstly, I'll talk about the journey of growth, which is the perception. As human beings, we desire something, we love something, we are so fascinated about things, we are so fascinated about a lot of things in our life that we put ourselves like, okay, I must be like this, have this perfect shape, I must have this thing, I must be this person, I must have acquired this thing. And because of our perceptions and our cultures and our environment that influences our perceptions, we tend to not see the reality of life. We tend to picture life, or tend to discuss life based on different analogies, based on different perceptions. A vivid example, I'll talk about a child who's so excited about the future, who talks about when I grow up, I want to be a doctor. When I grow up, I want to be a lawyer. And an adult will say, oh, because you haven't experienced life. Let's see if in 20 years, let's say in 10 years, you still say that you want to be a doctor. Why? Because they have their own perception about life, and they know everything will work out as the way they say it. But an adult will say no. So when it comes now to the reality, in terms of the truth, which is the reality about life, where you see it, most people, permit me please, most people tend to survive in terms of the reality, and they are not living, they're just trying to survive. When it comes to living, it tends to be about your survival mode. When you're being happy, and how are you surviving? How do you want to approach your life, or how do you want to approach your journey? So when it comes to the reality of life, most people, or all of us, are just surviving. And that's what I want to ask you, when you're being asked, how are you feeling? How are you? Are you okay? Since we're already used to the norms of I'm okay, I'm fine, few people will tell you how they really feel. Why is there that space? Why did they say I'm not fine? Because reality stocks in, reality comes in, and it's different. It affects us differently. So when you want to approach the reality of life, ask yourself, are you surviving, or are you just living? Are you trying to be happy, or you're trying to please the environment, or trying to please your loved ones? So these are things you always have to ask yourself when it comes to the reality. Then we'll look now into the area of growth. We'll talk about growth, the journey in growth. When your perception comes and when your reality comes together, if you have a matured mind, you don't say there are problems, you say there are challenges. And when you are facing the challenge, what do? Do you approach it, or do you just neglect it? I've discussed about a challenge and a problem. If I'm talking to you right now and someone comes and asks me a question, all right, and says, Pauline, please, can you explain something on the topic of the mindset shift? About the mindset shift. Or we're like, okay, that's good, that's fine, I'll keep explaining. I'll give my review. And then he or she comes and say, okay, please, can you explain something about we were speaking first about Oprah Winfrey's principles. I was like, oh, I don't really know about her principles so far, but I'll work towards that. Is that a challenge? Of course, that's a challenge, because that's something that I'm doing. I'm talking about mindset shift, and people have principles about it. I'm not aware of it. I have to go back and read more for me to provide more information on that. Okay, another example, if it's a problem, if the internet or my phone switches off, I'm not a repairer, I'm not a technician, it's a problem to me. So what do? I have to call a technician. I have to mention this to someone who has more skills in that to solve the issue. So this is how you have to always approach your life. Ask yourself, is it a problem or is it a challenge? And when you understand your perception of life and your reality about life, what do? You don't approach it from a fixed mindset, Bale. You don't approach it from a fixed mindset, rather you approach it from a mindset of growth. You approach it from that area whereby you don't want to regret, but you want to improve, you want to grow. So those are the journey in growth about it. The next topic is we'll talk about the journey of disobedience, which is the denial, the awareness, and the negligence. So we'll talk about the journey of disobedience, whereby you see what's happening, but you tend to deny. You see the truth. They tell you the truth, but you tend to deny. That's the journey of disobedience. How long do you want to be in the face of denial? How long do you want to be in the face of fear? Or how long do you intend to be in the face of rejection? In terms of the journey of disobedience, which is denial, most times we are in the face of denial because we are scared. We are scared of being on our own. We are scared of failure. We are scared of what people would say. We are actually terrified by the number of times we have tried, and we're very much comfortable with the environment or the people around us, and we're never expecting a denial from them. So when it comes to the denial process of disobedience, we tend to shy away. We tend to hide the truth from the people who care about us. So how do you want to approach that journey? How do you want to approach that phase of denial or of disobedience? Firstly, you have to accept it, which goes now to the next point of awareness, the genuine disobedience of in awareness. What is your level of awareness? I think when I was working, or when I was working my ex, oh my god, when I was working in my former place of work, I met someone, and he said, or he mentioned that to me. One of my supervisors, he mentioned that to me. He said, Pauline, it's good to know what's happening, but you don't need to understand everything, but you should be aware of what's happening. Why should you be aware of it? It's talking about how you should know what's happening in your environment, but you need to understand how to go about it. When you have a level of awareness, the way you approach things will be different. So, in terms of your journey, what's your level of awareness? Is it low? Is it high? Is it medium? Is it cold? You always have to understand that in your journey, you have to be aware. You don't need to know everything what's happening, but you should be aware what's happening in your environment. Is it time for you to leave? Is it time for you to stay? Is it time for you to talk? Is it time for you to walk? A lot of things that you should be aware of your environment. So when it comes to your level of negligence, in the disobedient negligence, we are aware of certain things that happens to us, but yet we just like to be negligent. We don't want to do it. We just say, I can do it when I feel like doing it, or this person cannot do anything to me, or these people they are not doing anything. I think a vivid example could talk about the law. Most of us are not really aware of the law. It's only when we fall into the crime before we are becoming aware of the law. I think that's part of negligence. And when you are being caught, do not judge you from a point of ignorance. They'll judge you from a point of being aware. So it's your responsibility to be aware of the laws of a society. So you should not fall a prey to it. These are things you always have to put in mind in terms of negligence, in terms of your journey. So how are you approaching your journey in negligence, in disobedience? Is it denial? Is it your awareness or your negligence? Another point to talk about is the journey of acceptance. The journey of acceptance. So how is your journey of acceptance? We look at it from the family perspective, in terms of death, in terms of rejection, in terms of failure. In terms of the journey of acceptance, family. Do you accept your family? Are you proud of where you come from? Are you proud of your identity? Your family can be your clan, your family can be your ethnic group, your family can be your nuclear group. Any place you call family, it's your place. So are you proud of where you're coming from? Are you proud of your skin? Are you proud of your gender? Are you proud of anything that makes you whole, that makes you identify yourself with that community, with that group of persons? When we talk about death, do you accept death as something that everyone would go through, or you are still scared about death, or you feel you'll never die, or you'll never leave this earth? Those are things you have to ask yourself about acceptance. So about rejection, have you accepted the fact that you'll be rejected in your job? Are you aware of the fact that you'll be rejected by your friends? Are you aware of the fact that you will not be accepted in a particular clan, in a particular group, or in a particular job setting? So these are the things you always have to ask yourself in terms of your acceptance. And lastly, we'll talk about failure. Now to talk about failure. So are you aware of what's happening? Are you conscious of the fact that you might succeed or you might fail in this task? Are you aware of the fact that failure it's normal? Failure cannot be dismissed. Failure cannot be dismissed. But what? Decision to step up is a choice. Decision not to give up is a choice. So these are the things you always have to ask yourself in terms of journey, in terms of acceptance, in terms of growth, So in conclusion, So journey is not something you're going to understand immediately. Journey is something you understand within the process. And awareness is the key. And when you are aware about something, you're able to support others, you're able to protect yourself, and you're able to train others in terms of their life, in terms of their journey. So far, there was a topic of discussion for the month of April, which is journey. I'll discuss on 5 topics, which are the journey of the mind, which is the fixed and the growth mindset. Then we spoke about the journey in time, which is the past, the present, and the future. The journey in the journey of growth, which is the perception, the reality, and growth. The journey of disobedience, which is the denial, awareness, and negligence. The journey of acceptance, which is the family, the death, rejections, and failure. So when we look into the journey, look at it from this different narrative. Look at it from these ideas that the journey is not focused only on one part. They have different parts, different branches which you can develop and evolve over time. Thank you so much to everyone who stay tuned, and do well to really follow us on our social media handles at My Mindset Shift and My Mindset Shift. Do subscribe to our YouTube channel at My Mindset Shift, My Mindset Shift, the Paradigm Shift. And make sure to always understand your journey before judging others. And also, journey is not something you stop a day. Journey is something you keep working towards. Before I leave you, I'll talk about this thought diary, which is 31 days of challenge. Okay, and it's a book whereby, or diary whereby, you talk about your thoughts. You write down your thoughts. It guides you what happened and how do you go about it. So this is a great book to help you for your journey, especially journey with the mind. Thank you so much, and do all have a lovely evening.